Alrighty, and welcome back to the Last Place Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your co-host Josh, along with my good friend Ethan. Welcome to Week 5. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just everybody's hurt on my team.
That was me last year, and it sucks.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
especially if it's like 3 or 4, because it felt like the point of no return.
that's what I'm saying.
I started, I started last year with Gus Edwards, that
Yeah,
injury, and then the
and
CMC one
traded Tony
happened.
Pollard.
Yeah. Oh, it hurt. Yeah, dude, that hurt. And I gave up a third. That's what made it worse, honestly. Like that was just a punch in the gut. I was like, every move I have made is awful.
And that's me this year.
Yeah.
Not awful, but
No. No, literally how Paul felt like earlier this week is how I felt last year, to where Ryan had to give me a therapy session on the show.
yeah,
Because I was like, what the heck?
yeah. Well, I'm about to start Caleb Huntley at running back, so
It'd be like that sometimes.
no, it doesn't. It really does not.
Dude, I was starting Kittle and Schultz at the same time. It got that bad.
Oh,
And it worked, which is kind of funny. It did just
and
enough.
welcome everyone to fantasy football.
Yeah, this is where desperation begins.
And you
Right.
know what else works, Josh?
What else works?
This podcast.
Yeah, I really hope it does. God, I'm never gonna live that down.
But really quickly, we are Ryanless. It is his birthday though.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Ryan.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
He didn't want to spend it with his friends because he's a good friend like that.
It hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts.
I mean, we had a pre-show cry, but it was good.
Yeah, we got it all out. We're ready to go, and
We're ready to have some fun. We're changing it
dude,
up.
We're gonna change it up because, let's start off with this one. All of us felt the need. It's like, hey, what if we change it up? And we all went, yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot. On top of that, literally when it comes to fantasy, like, it is a week to week endeavor. And so we kind of have an interesting idea that we're all going to show you. So we're going to flip this thing upside down, and our end is going to be the beginning. So we're going to start with bust, sleeper, and lock this week. So
Stay on your toes.
Yeah, for week 5, Ethan's bust is
Melvin Gordon.
Oh, you're just gonna call it right now, right before.
I'm gonna call it how it is.
I don't blame you. I think that's a good pick.
I mean, I don't think he believes in himself. I don't think the team believes in him, and they're gonna throw themselves out of a hole, and it's not gonna work.
I think the issue, right now, is they have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
In a weird way, because Sutton is the only good thing that's happened so far on offense. Russ hasn't been connecting with everybody, and they are definitely having an identity crisis, because it feels like they want to throw the ball but they don't. They want to run the ball.
They want
to
keep him in the pocket, and he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know what's going to happen there. So I mean, speaking of running backs, my bust is also a running back. And I hate saying this because I have him in multiple leagues, but I really do think this is going to be the case, and that's my bust is CMC. And my big reason, just for this week, and the biggest reason why, it's San Francisco.
And yeah, I mean, they look just brutal.
I will tell you right now, there is a good chance Rule gets fired after this game, in my opinion. And I don't want to wish ill on him. We don't want to be that kind of podcast. It's just,
but we call it how it is.
Yeah, we're gonna call it how it is. The offense has looked putrid. CMC has kind of only been the bright spot. You signed DJ Moore, yet almost refused to use him. I don't care if there's 11 targets. 11 targets that Debo gets is not equal to the 11 targets that DJ Moore can get. So I'm very concerned with CMC. I think he might be a good volume play. He's not going to have a spike week. I think he may have to struggle to 13 to 15 points. And the only reason I'm saying it's a bust is because it's going to look bad. But by the end of it, you're gonna be like, no, that's not too bad. But for
Yeah.
someone who was the second pick in the draft, like it's not gonna look good.
Yeah, at least you're not gonna be like, oh, thank God, I got CMC over ETN. Like, you're
Yeah,
not an ETN owner, and you should just be thankful for that.
yeah, yeah. So
Because us ETN owners are just ecstatic about the production that we're seeing.
yeah, dude, that offense has just been ugh.
Hot and cold. Shout out Doug
No,
P.
no, their hot is lukewarm. Honestly, like
Yeah.
there's been times where it looks normal, but it's something that I've said. It's just like basic plays, and there's just a lack of execution. I was kind of excited when Ben McAdoo. I was like, you know what? He's been out of it for a bit, but it could be good. No, the same exact stuff that happened in New York is happening now. It's almost like he didn't learn anything, and it's just like,
oh, he sure didn't.
On. Yeah, come on, dude.
McAdoo at it again. Hopefully he'll get fired.
Yeah, McAdoo with the poo-poo.
Tell you learns his lesson. Then we hope McAdoo lands on his feet.
Yep, then we hope so. And then, Ethan, who is your sleeper this week?
Ryan Robinson.
Is he confirmed playing?
I don't know that he's confirmed playing, but if he's playing, that's my sleeper.
Washington's been acting like it because Antonio Gibson.
I mean, they threw a friggin' parade when he practiced on Monday.
Yeah, like he's clearly going to be the starter coming back, and it's going to be trial by fire for him. To me, that just seems the most obvious. They're already preparing Antonio Gibson to not have the duties anymore.
Yeah,
I would love to take a dive deep into what happened. Just because there's so many things I feel like I am not seeing that they're seeing. But even then, the only reason I say that they're seeing is because I don't agree with this decision at all.
Yeah.
And because I still believe in Antonio Gibson, the player, to where there has to be some major disconnect to why you're going forward with this decision.
It's got to be a personal thing.
I think it is a personal thing. And just what makes it weird, if Antonio Gibson was drafted by an old regime and then a new regime comes in, that's a completely different story. But the fact is, they drafted him with the intention of, we have to develop you. But when you look at Antonio Gibson, you look at Scary Terry as well, I think the story's the same. Incredible talent, completely underutilized. And if they are utilized, it's not to their strengths. And I've been screaming from the rooftops about it, but I still believe in the issue is this is an incredible talent that is just not getting used right, like square peg round hole kind of offense.
Right.
So the funny thing is that brings me into my sleeper because it's on the same team. One person that Washington has seemed to use really well. I have Curtis Samuel.
Of course you do.
Dude, I like how they're doing it. I think he has a pretty favorable matchup this week.
He's such a good player.
Dude, he is.
Honestly.
Yeah, he is such a good player.
I don't know why Carolina let him go. And the whole DJ Moore, hugging the air because Curtis Samuel isn't there anymore is actually heartbreaking. And I'm a Falcons fan, which is saying something.
Yeah. No, honestly, what I get really excited about when it comes to Curtis Samuel is the fact that he does get some rushing work. He's very Debo light, but he's just so explosive like that. Obviously, you can't do some of the same things, but he's getting utilized. I think he's a perfect fit for what Carson Wentz wants to be as a quarterback too. Even in the bad games, he's still getting 5+ targets. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. All right, Ethan. Lock time. Who is it?
As begrudgingly as I say it, it's got to be Cooper Kupp at this point.
I debated with Cooper Kupp, but I have a different lock. But Coop is just, not Coop. Kupp is going to get super targeted. I mean, we haven't even talked about it, but apparently the Ravens are signing Andy Isabella of all people.
Yuck.
I think the Rams really needed to sign him though, and I think
Okay.
I really thought about it during watching the 49ers game. They don't have a threat over the top whatsoever. And I think that's causing the problems between Kupp and Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is very much, if you want to go a little old school, an Anquan Bolden kind of receiver. Doesn't separate all that great, but when it's a one-on-one opportunity, Allen Robinson's the one grabbing the ball.
Right.
But the issue with that is that you have to have the rest of the offense I'm not saying that he has to be dependent on other people, but like if you can't separate off one, you're not going to separate off two.
Right.
And that I feel like is the issue with Allen Robinson. The only thing I did like about what I saw is that and this is where I'm going to eventually get this back to Kupp, but like I think they need a speed threat for Allen Robinson
And Jefferson.
Yeah, Van Jefferson's the guy. Once he comes back, I think actually their offense gets figured out because they need people to stay back.
Right.
And so even if Allen Robinson or Kupp gets open, there's a guy coming to get them right now because instead of playing 20 yards back, they're at 10. But with Kupp, superb route runner, makes sense. He got 14 catches. Keep going. We just need that touchdown now.
Yeah, basically.
So my lock is I'm actually going down the quarterback route because I think this game is going to get very ugly, and I'm going with Jalen Hurts.
Divorced
Nope. We're not going there. Not going there, Ethan.
Sorry,
no.
Tom Brady. Just make sure you keep your son so you can still kiss all of your power.
Oh my god! Man.
Where do you think he gets it from? Where do you think he gets it from?
John Gruden? I don't know.
No. Soft lips.
No. Oh my god.
Anyways, back on track.
No, the worst. No, I'm not even gonna. No, I don't even know where to go from there. No, I'm picking Hurts though as my lock. They play Arizona. Yep. I think
good pick.
It's a perfect god, dude. My brain is just like it's like really clunking out right now. I can't think of anything smart to say. The lock is Hurts though. Like that game's gonna be
over. The lock and Hurts. Yeah. Jalen Hurts, baby.
Yeah, that game's
season.
That game's gonna be so over. Like Arizona's gonna get smoked.
I mean, Arizona they look really bad right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what it is, honestly.
Lack of play action is one thing to start. They have
nuke.
Yeah, it's no nuke, but it's also, again, I do think nuke was the worst thing to happen to that offense. And it sounds terrible to say.
Oh, yeah. Well, they over-relied on him.
It's an over-reliance, but it just enabled Cliff to continue the Texas Tech offense when he really should have been focusing on the 2 tight end set. Because that's what started working in Kyler's rookie year, and they've just never gone to it since. So that's
a fair point.
That's my thing with it, and I think it's coming to a head right now. It's not looking good, and they paid up for 2 top receivers.
Yeah.
Even though if I told you they traded for Hollywood and Nuke, who do you think got the first round pick?
No.
And you're wrong.
Yeah. I still can't believe they got a second round pick for him. That's honestly ridiculous.
Dude, it was essentially a bag of chips for the top receiver in the game.
What are we going to pay for this top receiver? Will you take a crisp high five? Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, teamwork.
I mean, they honestly played it so well because that relationship in Houston was so bad.
Oh, dude, they would have
taken anything.
Yeah, but even then, that's what happens when your head coach is the GM. And there's even then, there's only one time where it's actually worked, and even then, it's questionable as on the GM side of things.
Honestly, for Houston's end, it would have worked out perfectly if they traded DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson's masseuse. That would have been like the perfect trade for them.
Oh my! At this point, I think they wished it was a combo deal. And
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
just grab like no, I'm saying Nuke and Deshaun Watson. You just get like
Oh,
15 first round picks out of it.
please God, just take them.
Yeah, we're done. Just come on, just get them out.
Just get him out and just shaking in the team shower. Just they
No.
can't hurt us anymore.
We did. Oh, dude, that's one thing I think is going to be crazy, especially as the more years we get separated from it. Is just those stories of like what on earth happened. Like I think Matt Rule is definitely going to be one thing. Frank Wright. Like there's a lot of teams that I want to look back and be like, what happened within this 5-year period.
You know what? In terms of the Houston story, I just think I don't want to know. You know,
that's true. I think that's
like I think
fair
I
to
just
feel that way.
never need to know the details of how that happened, why it happened, and who let it happen.
Yeah, I actually, to be honest with you,
like I can live a perfectly comfortable life.
I say let's. I agree with you. I say
let's leave the lid on that one.
Yep.
Other than for the professionals.
I agree with you 100% on that one. So,
we have a new segment.
Yeah, we have a new segment, and I mean, obviously, we have previewed every game for you, and we've kind of gone through it that way. But I think we kind of decided, hey, let's try something different. So this is what we're going to do. Ethan and I have picked up our dream lineups for Week 5. So basically, it's if you can have everyone on your team, who would you start? And we're going to go too deep on here, and we're going to make this a competition. And Ryan doesn't know this. Flex we have two. Yeah, flex we have two.
Oh, we are going too deep flex?
Not too deep, but one spot. So you're only picking 2 flexes.
Okay.
So basically, here's what's going to happen. We're going to pick our lineup. Ethan, who do you have at quarterback? Name your 2 deep.
2 deep, man. I got my boy Josh Allen.
Okay.
So Josh Allen going up against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Which is going to be a freaking brutal matchup for him.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
And then, I think I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes against Las Vegas.
Okay, so I'm going to I agree with you with Mahomes, so I have him on here. And then I have Hurts.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, especially Hurts playing Arizona.
So we'll have fun adding up all of those points.
Yeah, so my two top tier running backs that I have, Miles Sanders and Dalvin Cook for me.
For this week?
For this week.
Ooh, okay. Oh, this is a tough one, man.
Dude, running back was so tough. Because there's so we had a couple spike performances from last week at Eckler and a couple others, but I can't quantify whether I want to put it in as okay, this is how it's going to be from now on, or is this a fluke?
I think I'm taking Nick Chubb and King Henry.
Okay, all right. You know what? I thought about both of those. I do have King Henry because I think he's going to have the slightly better performance. But
yeah, against Washington, I mean, it's just that's a good matchup.
That's a good matchup. So I'm going with King Henry and Dobbins as my other.
Ooh, okay.
So I think literally it was his first home game last week with Dobbins. I mean, he is a little bit banged up, but that running game is different with him back.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have to rely on him to end this game.
Fair enough.
All righty. Who are your top 2 at receiver?
It's got to be Kupp and Jet.
Okay. So
Kupp and JJ.
I got Kupp and Tyreek. Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill. And literally, he's going up against the Jets. You've had 10 plus days to kind of figure out what to do. Obviously, Tua's not playing this week, but you've had 10 days to figure it out with Teddy. So I think there might be a lot more scheming on Mike McDaniel's part there. My other 2. I got Debo and Cortland Sutton.
Oh, those are solid actually.
Sutton just going to get hyper targeted. He is the only thing that's worked in this
Yeah.
offense, and you got to follow the
Well, they're gonna
volume.
throw it so much.
They're going to have to, I think. And then Debo's Debo.
Yeah.
Who are you? Who are your top two?
Receivers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Cup and JJ all the way.
Well, who's your other two?
Cup and JJ. Oh, my second set.
Yeah, your
I mean,
second set.
if you had to twist my arm, I'm going Diggs.
Ooh.
I'm going Diggs and AJ Brown.
Oh man, dude.
AJ Brown
The
against
one
the
thing, the one
Cardinals, and then
what you know what I just realized is when making this list, I have not realized yet that TJ Watt's not playing, and that Steelers defense is completely different without him playing. So I think Allen Diggs
It's
stack
not
is a
as good.
must. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's a good move on your part. So now here's probably the hardest category to figure out, or the hardest position, and that's tight end.
Kelsey and the Hawk.
Interesting. I went with two very different ones. I probably should have put Kelsey, so that one I'm going to eat my words on. I put Gerald Everett and Robert Tonyan.
I mean, I still like Gerald Everett a lot.
Yeah, and he's going up against Cleveland that is having issues at linebacker, so that's where I think he can get used pretty well. And then Tonyan, I think, is someone who, if you haven't stashed him, I say get ready to stash him because I think he's going to be a bigger part of the offense as the season goes on. Who are your flexes? Is I think the real question here, Ethan.
Don't ask me that.
Okay, fine. I didn't. The last 10 seconds never happened.
Two flexes?
Yeah, two flexes.
Oh God, Miles Sanders.
Okay, I like that pick.
I'm flexing Miles Sanders, and I think I'm gonna flex. Oh my God, why are you asking me this?
Ooh. All right, if it helps,
And Waddle.
Waddle. Ooh, dude, it was Hill or Waddle for me. I was like, all right, who do I think is going to be the one that takes off here?
It cost me when I played you last week in the ESPN league, but I'm flexing Waddle.
Yeah, look, with either of those, you gotta live and die by them. They're like, I would never. All right. You know what? That's a good advice. So we said our takeaway. That's one specific takeaway I'm taking from the first 4 weeks. You start both, and you're gonna live and die by it. Just because it is a lot harder to try and guess what when they're gonna break out and when they're not. So my flex I have right now is Curtis Samuel and Chris Olave.
Samuel Olave. Okay, Olave's a good one.
Yeah, Samuel, obviously my sleeper of the week, but Olave, just keep following that volume. And I think Olave is he's going to be really good. Now, kicker, I think we're going to have two different kickers, but it's because we're following two. Yep, you pick Younghoe. I pick Tucker. But I think that's it on kickers. They're probably the two best at the moment. Defenses is where it gets interesting. I think we've kind of are figuring out how the defenses are, and this is kind of one of the toughest things. But if you really want to think of it as a fantasy football player, you have to focus on defense. And who do you have as your top defense this week, Ethan?
I think I got the 49ers.
Yep, I got 49ers as well. That's my top one.
I mean, they're going up against the Panthers, man.
Yeah, that honestly, that matchup is going to be brutal.
Yeah, good luck.
Do you have a second defense?
Yeah. What other matchup do I like?
Oh man! Now, all right. You know what? I'm going to switch.
Probably Probably Bills.
Okay, Bills was the one I just thought about. The other one I thought, because they're playing Chicago, is the Vikings defense.
Yeah, but they kind of struggled.
I know they're struggling, but there's nothing better for a struggling defense than a completely anemic offense. And unfortunately, that's what the Bears are, even with Khalil Herbert. So I think they can actually settle in. And
Jesus, the Cowboys have 15 sacks.
oh yeah, it's disgusting. Honestly, I think they had like 7 or 9 against Cincy because they did play Cincy. Hold on, let me look that up real quick.
Does surprise you as the least amount of sacks in the NFL?
Who has the least amount of sacks?
The Cardinals.
Oh, I'm actually not surprised. They lost. It's just J.J. Watt there, and they lost Chandler Jones.
Oh, that's right. R.I.P.
Okay.
Arizona.
So San Francisco has 15 sacks on the year. Next best is actually, Kansas City. There's quite a few people that has 11.
Well, Philly has 16.
Jacksonville has 9, which is interesting. But they have 7 picks. That's
Atlanta
why they've been
has
really
8.
Really interesting.
So they're hanging in there.
Interesting.
They are no longer the worst defense when it comes to sacks in the NFL, which is half of what they got all of last year in 17 games.
Yeah. So, Ethan, I want to bring up a question for you because I think we've gone off the cuff. But yeah, that is going to be our lineup, everybody, for Week 5. And this is kind of the question I kind of want to end this with. So you heard about the whole Jock Peterson, Tommy fan situation from MLB, right? That was over fantasy football?
No, I haven't.
So,
the slap?
Yeah, the slap.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So here's my question. So everyone probably knows the story. It was a major issue. Not even issue. I think it was just a hilarious story. Just talking about how fantasy football can get. So my question for you, Ethan, what would be a fantasy thing? Like, what would have to happen in fantasy football for you to slap somebody?
Oh, man. Oh, for me to slap someone?
Yeah. Just to be like, what would get you so angry, I guess? And again, obviously, we don't condone this whatsoever. I just found the story to be hilarious.
Convincing me to trade you something and then them going off. So, Josh, watch out the next time you see me.
Okay, all right, dude. Really? Now, for me, it would be...
Or trade.
Man, I would say trade collusion would be one. But I wouldn't, I would be... Here's the thing, I don't try to do that at all, but I get really upset with trade collusion because you're just ruining the fun of fantasy football.
Right.
But I just found that to be it's still one of the funniest situations to me, just because it's it was so out of random, and it was oh, it must be this big deal, and then it turns out to be fantasy football.
Oh my gosh, they're actually fighting about something serious.
What is it? Waivers.
Yeah, or someone rigged the waiver system. That would piss me off.
Oh, that would I think you and I are on the same page. You would have to rig something for it to actually upset
to get me that mad.
Yeah, to get me that mad.
For the most part, this is a release and it's just fun for me. So it's not that. I mean, obviously it's serious. I want to win. I'm incredibly competitive. But it's not that serious. No. My whole life isn't involved.
And obviously we'll bring the disclaimer. Fantasy football should not make you want to slap someone. We'll start off with that.
Yeah.
But number 2, we're both...
Stop it.
Okay, Michael Jordan. But well...
I'll take that. I'll take that, dig.
All right. But yeah, if you were to rig something, that's not meant to be... It's supposed to enhance your viewing of football. And if you were to rig something that ruins the fun for everyone else, like that's what would get me.
Yeah. Can we talk about one more snapshot before we end?
Yeah, let's do it.
Desmond Ridder. What are we thinking
Oh,
the chances are that he gets into this game
okay, so I mean,
against
can
Tampa
we
Bay?
can we expand this to rookies?
Sure.
Because the funny thing is, rookie running backs, not really, but almost every rookie receiver has had either like significant game time or is is going to be once they come back from injury or anything like that. So I think the bring it back to Ridder, and especially I'll keep this in the dynasty sense. Ridder is a way better dynasty option than I thought from the very beginning, and I will say that. I do think though, and especially with the Falcons, I think Arthur Smith is going through deja vu as like, this is why I benched Mariota in the first place at Tennessee. Is just the reluctance to just rip it.
Yeah.
Not the fart, but
He
the
just
football.
refuses.
But like, yeah. It's just playing it safe. It's Tyrod Taylor. It is unfortunate is like when you were developing them and you're like, just don't lose the game. But like that's terrible mentality. Obviously don't be reckless, but like to have like you have to your quarterback has to take shots. Like that's how the league is right now. You just have to constantly take shots. And right now, I would say how defenses are playing offenses, you have to execute. So like that. So that's where it's like, hey, if this window's open, you have to just throw it in there. And I think Ridder is more willing to do that than Mariota. Like personally, here's what I would say right now is you're what 2-2, I believe. Atlanta's 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2. Yeah.
You're not. I would say you're not. Yeah, I would. All right, you know what? Let me talk to the Atlanta fans community here because I'm with you guys on this. You're not starting.
I stand with Atlanta.
You're not starting Ridder to see what you have to see if he's a franchise quarterback. I think you're starting Ridder right now because he's the better option. Now,
absolutely.
And when we talk about in Dynasty, we don't know if he's a guy or not. And there's a really good quarterback class coming next year. But goodness gracious, for someone who almost picked up Pitts, I'm happy to escape that situation. But like Mariota's, it's not good right now. And I think he's like they literally ran the ball 14 times last week and said, Mariota, we are taking this game out of your hands. And that is without Cordero Patterson. Like you want to know how crazy that is if you think about it.
They were running the ball to somebody they elevated from their practice squad over letting Mariota throw it.
Yes. And with your starting running back out. Like you know how crazy that is? Like if you think of it in hindsight, and I think I'm preaching to the choir right now, but like that's where it's like at some point just make Ridder the guy.
Here's what's crazy to me. They were willing to lose than let Mariota try and win them the game.
Yes. Like their actions,
this is going to run and happen and work, or we'll lose, and we will take that over letting you try.
And I really do think the Kyle Pitts issue is centered around Mariota and the coaching staff knowing Mariota's the problem. Like, I understand if you want to blame the coaching staff. It's like, well, you're not putting Kyle Pitts in advantageous situations. And I was like, I think that's a fair criticism. I don't think it's the greatest criticism, but I can see the logic points. But I do think the bigger issue is them going, holy crap, we cannot do anything with Mariota right now.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the issue first and foremost. And that's why I've been all in on you better start Ridder. Like soon rather than later. Because if you're going to be a meandering 4-4, you're basically DOA. And like right now, it's like it's you got to just do something. Yeah, you just got to do something.
What do they have left? I'm pulling up their season right now. See who they have. I don't know that this week is the best week because they have Tampa Bay, but this is a winnable game. So Tampa Bay, San Francisco, those are two pretty tough defenses. And then Cincy, which I think would be a good match to put him in. Carolina would be good. Chargers would be
Carolina be
good.
good,
Carolina
yeah.
again would be good.
Cincy be good as
Chicago, Washington good. Pittsburgh good.
when is their
Saints
bye?
again, I think they win that. Baltimore, eh.
That one's
And
gonna
then
be a little
Arizona,
tougher.
Tampa Bay again.
When is their
But
bye
look at
week?
how
Oh,
surprisingly
so
winnable
so
their
here here's where
season is.
here's the issue that I also see. Their bye week is week 14.
Yeah.
I think Mariota's played to the point where you can't wait till week 14.
No.
So that's like the other issue that's in my brain right now. It's like
Oh.
if I'm bless you. If I'm
Thank you.
Arthur Smith, do I wait that long to see
can't.
what I don't think you
can't.
can. I think you will have a losing season if you wait till week 14.
Yep.
And while I don't know if Ritter's ready right now, I think he presents you with a better shot.
Well, yeah, but he's going to take risk and get better.
But like right now, taking the risk is going to be winning a game you're not supposed to win.
Right.
And because right now they're losing games.
I.e. Tampa Bay and San Francisco.
Yes, exactly. Or even then, Rams could have been winnable. New Orleans could have been winnable.
Well, they should have won both of those games.
But like
this is what I was texting you earlier. Like they didn't just get beat by those teams. Like Mariota lost them those games.
Yeah. Yeah, like right now, playing not to lose makes you lose. And that's always been my opinion. Like I'd rather you be 10 for 20 with 2 touchdowns and 2 picks, but you're constantly trying over.
You're trying to make plays.
15 of 20, but they're all short yardage safe options. That's always been me.
I.e. Mary Yoda.
Yes. No, he is not Yoda.
Mary, not Yoda.
Mary, not Yoda. But I mean, if we're looking at the schedule here, I think maybe the real question is, I still say, I think Cincinnati's the game you start them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you could make an argument for Tampa Bay just because they're still not there yet.
Well,
but it'd be tough with that defense. 49ers, you absolutely can't.
Do you think Mariota gets pulled in any of those games? So I think let's start off.
I think he gets pulled in San Francisco. I can see that.
I think it's within the next 2 weeks. Ridder takes over personally, and I think it's going to be kind of like Kenny Pickett, where it's like it's so bad that you have to move it in, because that's exactly what happened with Trubisky, where it's like you're not taking the shots that need to happen for you to win the game. So you just let's just do it. Let's rip the Band-Aid, and you're good. And I rather know over like 10 plus games whether Ridder is the guy or not. Not 3.
I think he will be.
I think he has a good chance to. Also, there's one play. I don't know if you watch the Pat McAfee show, but they have been having AQ Shipley on for O-line like film breakdowns, and Atlanta's run game has been a lot of fun to watch, and like I've noticed it like just off to the side, but like I love to see it highlighted, where they did a misdirection with the center, which is like freaking bonkers, honestly. That's where
so big brain that it worked.
Well, no, even then, but I'm just like, dude, like the game planning and the scheming is there with Arthur Smith.
Oh, yeah.
And like
that's a great caller.
Yeah, that's the only reason I bring this up, is that you see the little intricacies. It's like, okay, they have it. It's there. The team's not as bad as we all thought it would be.
They should be 4-0.
The quarterback is, though.
Yeah.
And like that's why I'm going back. Is like, you know what? Let Ridder go for it.
I mean, honestly, dude, they should be 4-0. Period.
Yeah. So I do want to expand this to you, expand the rookie conversation with Ridder, but I think I wanted you to take it from this season perspective and then a dynasty perspective. Who is the best rookie wide receiver right now?
Oh, why did you just ask me that?
Because this is a interesting discussion.
Right now, who's the best, and then who's the best dynasty?
Yes.
Okay, Olave is the best right now.
I agree with you there.
I think it might be Drake, dynasty wise though.
Dude, I've been thinking it might be Dotson.
I would
Uh,
say Dotson
dude,
if he wasn't on the Commanders.
that's a good point. It's dude, I don't that the best dynasty option. I could say Olave for both. I really could. But I also do see them transitioning to get another quarterback
Yeah,
sooner or later. I think
they're gonna have too much turnover, I think, in
that
New
so
Orleans.
that's my issue from a dynasty perspective. Which side note, I think you and I accidentally created a new segment for the show, which I really like these kind of like
What,
in
rookie
depth.
watch?
No, not rookie. Well, rookie watch maybe, but just in depth on just one topic. I
Hmm.
it's just a side note. I kind of like this. Like I like how in depth we
Yeah,
just went with Ridder, but
we're
so
big brain and we're
yeah,
scheming.
we're scheming it right now. Like you are to anyone listening, you are watching the evolution of this show happen. But man, I think Drake London, it's only going to get better. Whether it's Ridder, whether it's not, like that, I think they're on the right track. I think Olave's really good. The turnover's coming for that roster, though. Like it's sooner rather than later.
And I don't believe in that coach.
So I think so far it's okay. Carmichael's been pretty interesting. It's been pretty good as a play caller, but when Kamara is like banged up and looking old, for lack of a better word, to Mark Ingram, and then the O line, quarterback. Like Jameis is good, but is he really your franchise guy? Is the next question. So there's a lot that has to be answered within the next few years.
Well, that man's playing with broken ribs after the Falcons absolutely rocked them.
Yeah, I think Dotson is an interesting position. I just need to see stability at the other places. So like, is Carson Wentz the answer?
Yeah.
I got no idea. Is the O line an answer? No. Is Ron Rivera Scott Turner the answer? I'm not going to say what I really think, but actually, if you've seen past episodes, you really see what I think. But but I, man, it really might be Drake London. I want to give Jameson Williams a chance because I really do like
Yeah.
what the Lions have done. But I think he might be a good buy low candidate like next
Yeah.
year because
Yeah.
the issue is that he's going to try and fit in like and everything's already moving. Like that offense is looking really good. But you also have to think of
Right.
it. You're dealing with Sun God, you're dealing with Swift, and then you also have Jared Goff, the quarterback. They eventually will get another quarterback. So really the only as good as they have been, I already see the turnover that has to happen. So London, I feel like is going to be the most stable in the moment.
I think so because he has Arthur Smith, which is a win,
Yeah.
and he's going to grow with Drake.
And even then, you have Kyle Pitts there. Like they're going to add more talent, and it's going to be
Yep.
good to go.
And that's where I see it. There's no turnover there. There's just more addition.
Yeah, it's not like, oh man, this is an old roster. We have to flip it. I
Right.
do feel like
no, this is an incredibly young. Like the entire defense is young.
Yeah.
Most of the offense is young. Because I mean, if you think about it, Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, and then
Hennessy,
Drew Dahlman. Yeah, Drew Dahlman and Hennessy are
like
all young.
they're all I was about to say they're all recent draft picks by the Falcons.
It's
And
just
then
Jake Matthews, but Jake Matthews even still will be around for a while.
Jake Matthews was
And then
drafted in like
Elijah
2017.
Wilkinson will be like, eh. Yeah, exactly.
So I mean,
And then they also have Algier, who's a stud.
I can see them getting another running back soon though. So that's where with Algier that does make it interesting.
Unless Caleb Huntley is that guy.
Unless Javian Hawkins. But no. Oh, actually,
he's coming back.
Fam, do you remember that was Ryan's long shot of an answer last year?
Yeah, Hawkins,
And then he didn't even make it till camp. And it's just cut. Like, oh,
dude,
man.
I texted him and I talked so much crap because he would not shut up about Hawkins in Atlanta, and he watched one preseason Falcons game just to talk a big game about Hawkins to get cut.
Oh man, you hate to see it, but yeah. So,
happy birthday, Ryan! Yeah, big nerd.
Happy birthday, Ryan! I'm sorry the L you took this week in fantasy by yours truly.
Oh
no, dude. All right, so
you can't do him like that.
No, I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. He scored like I think third highest. Like his team is fine.
Yeah,
CD's finally coming into his own. It's just the running back situation. That's really where I think he may have to start trading for one.
Yeah, but with that, we've come to a close.
Yeah, we
previewed some matchups. We talked about our dream team. We had a little rookie watch. Talked about how Tom Brady gains his power. That's a good episode right there.
That is quite the episode, all over the place. But what else do you expect when Ryan's not there to watch over us?
No supervision.
Yeah, no rules. But thank you again for everyone for listening to this week's preview episode of the Last Place Fantasy Football Podcast. Don't forget, we do have news and injuries coming up, and unfortunately, we do have a lot to talk about when it comes to injuries. So be on the lookout for that episode, and then obviously our Week 5 review. You can find all of us at Last Place FP. Please like, comment, subscribe to our channel and to all of our socials. Again, if you have any lineup questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We would love to answer them for you because we want to see everyone succeed in here. But that is
except for Ryan.
Wow, yes, because sometimes you're Ryan. Am I right?
Sometimes you're right, and sometimes you're Ryan. Absolutely. So
had
to sneak it in.
Look, it's always there, always
there to haunt you. Like Ryan in the playoffs.
Like Ryan in first round upsets. Oh, man. We just ripped on Ryan on his birthday.
You think you get a break on your birthday? How many times do we got to teach you this lesson, old man?
Not today. So, but thank you again for everyone for listening. I am Josh. This is my co-host, Ethan, and we'll see y'all very soon.